Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Japanese culture and tradition is quite ancient and unique. With this content, you can find some things to know about traveling or doing business in Japan, and learn about Japanese culture. A brief history of Japan. Pronounced Nippon or Nihon in Japanese, Japan is a Pacific Ocean island country off the coast of mainland Asia. It consists of approximately 6,900 islands. The most important and crowded islands that make up 97% of the country are Honshu, Hokkaido, Shikoku, and Kyushu. Among these islands, there are 47 provinces with a total population of 127,011,000 in the world. 73% of the country is mountainous, but most of the people live along the coastline, making it one of the most densely populated countries in the world. From tradition to a unique culture, the Japanese language. It is Japanese, which is the primary language spoken throughout the country. Ancient Japanese or Kanban is from China, and the oldest Japanese text Kyueki was written in the early 8th century, and is mainly written in ancient Chinese characters. Modern Japanese use today developed between 1603 and 1868 during the Edo period. Modern Japanese consists of 3 alphabets. 1. Kanji logographic Chinese characters. 2. Hiragana phonetic Japanese alphabet. 3. Katakana phonetic alphabet for foreign words. The development and widespread use of katakana is an example of Japan's recent adoption of Western cultures, ideas, and sayings. Religion and faith in Japan. There are 2 main religions in Japan, Shinto and Buddhism. Shinto is a Japanese religion, while Buddhism was brought from China in the 6th century. A recent survey found that 39% of Japanese people identify as Buddhist, 3.9% Shinto, and 2.3% Christian. Is Japanese culture influenced by other cultures? Like every culture, Japanese culture has been influenced by other cultures. Early Japanese culture was heavily influenced by China. During the Edo period, Japan implemented a strict isolation policy and closed its doors to the outside world. This isolation developed a different Japanese culture. Cultural changes accompanied modernization. With Christian rationality and socialism, Marxism was inextricably linked with everyday Japanese life. Western or westernized music is generally more common in many social settings than traditional Japanese music. Although Japanese Christians make up a small percentage of the population, Christmas, the ornaments used on this holiday, is widely seen almost as a folk event. The use of Western dress instead of traditional kimono became commonplace among the Japanese long ago, but still women continue to wear formal kimono at certain celebrations. The construction style of the houses changed significantly with the introduction of Western architectural forms and functions. Many contemporary Japanese homes differ significantly from traditional houses in form, color, and building materials. They now have more modern shapes, use more colors, and are more made of concrete and plaster. National holidays and festivals in Japan. There are many national holidays in Japan. Let's examine some of the national holidays in Japan. New Year's Day. New Year's Day is traditionally considered the most important of the Japanese holidays, when millions of people take a pilgrimage to shrines and temples from midnight on December 31st. In the next 3 days, people spend their time in shrines, temples, with their families and friends. Children's Day. Children's Day Kodomo no Hi is a national holiday in Japan to respect children's personalities and celebrate their happiness as part of the Golden Week every year on May 5th. The holiday has been celebrated since antiquity and was designated a national holiday by the Japanese government in 1948. 735 Festival. This festival, Shichigo-san 753, November 15th, is organized for children who reach the age of 3, 5, and 7. Bon Festival. It is a Buddhist tradition. In mid-July or mid-August, the deceased ancestors are honored at the festival. Many temples and shrines celebrate their own special festival that attracts a large number of people. Local community bodies, as well as city, town, and village authorities, often organize local Bon festivals. Cherry Blossom Festival. Japanese people love to watch the flowers blooming in their season. The most popular is the Cherry Blossom Festival. Sakura time, which is considered sacred in Japan, takes place in the last week of March and the first week of April. This period is so important for the country that the Sakura time is given on TVS after the weather condition, Sakura state. Matsuri. In the spring and summer there are celebrations for the land and sea gods or Matsuri. Each town has its own Matsuri, and these celebrations are widely attended by all. From sumo wrestling to baseball, sports culture in Japan. Sport plays an important role in Japanese culture. Sumo, judo, and karate are traditional Japanese sports, and baseball, football, and rugby have been adopted from other cultures. Sumo is Japan's national sport, and to date, it is practiced mainly only in Japan. The modern sumo was created in the Edo period and has continued to maintain its traditions ever since. The Japanese are true fans of sports. Baseball was introduced to Japan in the 1870s and soon became the country's favorite team sport. In the 1950s, two professional leagues were operating, the Central League and the Pacific League, and many baseball stars, especially Osada Haro, were among the country's most well-known national celebrities. Other players, including Nomo Hideo and Suzuki Ichiro, found stars in Major League Baseball in the United States. In addition, the annual National Invitational High School Baseball Tournament is televised nationwide and followed with enthusiasm across the country. Japan began competing in the Olympic Games in 1912. The country hosted the Olympics 3 times. The 1964 Summer Games in Tokyo, the first Olympic Games, were held in Asia, and the Winter Games were held in Sapporo in 1972 and 1998. Japanese athletes have been successful in many sports and are particularly successful in gymnastics and judo competitions. Daily life and traditions in Japan. Contemporary Japanese society is strictly urban. The vast majority of Japanese people not only live in urban environments, but urban culture is transmitted across the country by mass media largely concentrated in Tokyo. Young urban Japanese in particular are known for their conspicuous consumption and their passion for trends and whims that are quickly coming and going. Western, popular music is ubiquitous in Japan. Jazz, rock, and blues enjoy half westernized or half Japanesized folk and popular songs, as well as generations of Japanese born after World War II. Basically, many Japanese songs are sung with Western musical instruments, and many basically Western subjects are covered with Japanese-style drama or song. Invented in Japan in the early 1970s, karaoke Japanese, literally empty orchestra, is a popular form of nightlife entertainment. Entertainment is not usually held at home, as most Japanese homes are small and most are business-related. Most Japanese cities are among the most diverse and service-oriented cities in the world where all kinds of food can be found. However, as such a large part of the entertainment industry is dependent on the business world, the industry has been subjected to economic downturns affecting the corporate world. Family structure and life in Japan. Traditional family unit in Japan. It is called kazoku, consisting of parents and children. Kazoku often live with their elderly parents. With the modernization, the traditional arranged marriage Maoi, Kekkon made in its time has been replaced by love match. Even if the marriage is a love match, it is still common for a family friend, relative, or mentor to act as the mediation nakodo. The wedding ceremony itself is often a mix of East and West, a traditional Shin ceremony, in which the bride and groom wear elaborate kimonos, is followed by a Christian-style ceremony in which the participants wear formal Western attire. Preservation of history and cultural heritage in Japan. Great importance is attached to the protection of cultural assets and artists in Japan. The national government's Agency for Cultural Affairs, founded in 1968, is responsible for promoting and spreading different aspects of culture, as well as preserving cultural assets and historical sites. A number of national museums and cultural assets research institutes have been added to the agency. Particularly noteworthy is the agency's practice of identifying and recognizing various artists, performers, and craftsmen of traditional Japanese art forms. Called living national treasures, these individuals receive an annual stipend that allows them to develop their skills and pass them on to apprentices. This program ensures that many forms and styles are preserved that might otherwise have been lost. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe my channel.